don't know about you, but I could just sit and watch that all day.
Yeah, I could actually. I want to see the full life story.
I will. I'll do that another thing. So thank you all for joining us. So I'm here live with Brian Houston, who has been one of my clients, and now he's a success advisor with me. But actually, that's just a tiny little role compared to everything else that he's actually up to. It's totally amazing. So I would like you just to enjoy. Well, I suppose my part of you, Brian. So this whole week is about making your annual salary monthly. Basically, it's about living your life to its fullest potential, and rather than just accepting where you are now, it's about stepping out, using your mindset that was holding you back. It wasn't your actions. You were doing everything, but it's our mindset that tends to hold us back, and that's what this whole week is about. So I met you last January, and you were in corporate, and yeah, take the story away there, Brian. What was the first 6 months like?
Oh, after meeting you, the 6 months after that, yeah, I mean, I do remember, I won't say tears, but it was, I'm going to say it was a stressful operation because of what was coming to the surface then of, Sheena, I mean, you wanted honesty from me, and I'm going to say you forced it out of me. I mean, we had a nice relationship, and I had to be honest. I felt I had to be honest. And I was doing myself a continuous disservice. Still wells me up right now, even just thinking back, to that little time period. But it wasn't just that time period. This was going back 20, 30 years. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. That makes me seem old. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing myself a disservice because I had dreams and I had visions, and I'm not going to say that I'm going to be Superman and flying around, but I had things that I wanted to do, things that I was studying for, things that I was practicing. And on a very regular basis, I was doing it, but the job, which is 9 to 5-ish, or probably 8 to 6 for me, it kept the claws in me, and it kept my brain actually locked down. And I'm not saying that everybody has to quit their job, but for me, that was the step of the shackles come off. And then, your knuckles start to drag on the ground, and you feel good.
I mean, that's what I remember the whole journey. And there was a particular, the first 3 months, you're really just touching the surface of the material. And then the second 3 months was when you knew that a decision had to be made. And I remember saying to you, Brian, you need to make a decision. There's a decision. I can't tell you what that decision is. I mean, sometimes it's just, isn't it, Brian? You need to be happy or sad. Like, take your pick. That's what you've got today. And you knew a decision was coming, and then you made it.
We need to be honest with ourselves. We know that, when decisions need to be made, but quite often we just will not make them because, I'm going to say we're comfortable, but we're in a zone of, well, this is what I should be doing because this is what mother expects or father expects, or, well, I can't let down my colleagues, for goodness sakes. I mean, if I left them, how are they going to survive without me?
Actually, on that note, that reminds me of a story of Bob Proctor. He says, this is for everybody that you think you're indispensable. It's part of the law of compensation that we study as well. And he says, put your hand in a bucket of water and then just stir it round as much as you want. You can splash as much as you want and then take your hand out. That's as much as you'd be missed.
Yeah. And that's about it.
But what you were saying there about honesty, and what I'd mentioned before in the live was about acknowledging and accepting where you were. And that was one of the things that you had to do, first of all, that honesty journey of you. And I think we had quite a few conversations on that going, Brian, you have to be honest with yourself. And if it involves tears, well, then it involves tears because there's something that needs to come up that just looking to be healed. That it can be so simple and so subtle, Brian, can't it? But at the time, you don't know that that's just how you're being because you're so used to being like that. Like Joe Dispenza wrote a book, Break the Habit of Being Yourself. That's what you had to do, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, exactly. My mind just, for some reason, when I was looking at my world map back there, and I was thinking of sitting on the beach, and if you're picking out grains of sand to count them, you can't actually see that there's miles and miles of beach. And that's the problem, is that when you're in your job and in your life, your head is almost underneath the sand. You don't have the right perspective of, I am worth more. And I'm not even talking about money, but I'm just simply talking about, my emotions, my physical, emotional health, just happiness of whatever. And, as they, other people have said, when you get to that golden age and you're sitting in the rocking chair, why not look back and say, oh my God, look what I did. Wow. And I want to be happy, not say, oh shoot, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. I mean, did you know even my body just changed there? But
But you did, what was amazing was you did all this right in the middle of COVID. And there's Brian, left his job in a week and nothing. I mean, literally the job finished 1 week and it was a week later you were on a plane flying out somewhere. And people were saying, why is Brian flying? And I just went, I don't know. He just decided that he was doing it, and off he went. And that's when you recognized that you were running that international business that you'd always wanted. That was the very start of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm speechless because it was sitting there and all I had to do was turn the key and boom, the car started. And that was it. The job's done. I say the job's done. That job is done. But I mean, it doesn't even make any sense, Sheena, because this was only just something that I've been thinking about and literally throwing it around like a toy, like a baseball in the back garden. It was that simple. But literally, I get there, people fall in love with me, and they can't live without me. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, people value me. I mean, who the heck am I? And you know what? I'm Brian, but I am who I am. And I deliver what I deliver, and I do what I do, and I love what I do, and that's what people fall in love with. I hate to say it, you said earlier on the earlier program to have everyone turn on their camera because everyone's beautiful. We don't know that. We don't believe that we're beautiful. We always look to someone else and say, oh yeah, they're beautiful. We need to just literally give ourselves that little bit of credit and say, not with ego, just to say, oh, you know what? Yeah, this is who I am. And I'm going to resonate with you, and I'm not going to resonate with certain other people. That's okay. They're not part of my life, or they're not part of my active life, but I'm going to be drawn to a certain group, and that's what I need to do is draw in.
Sing your own tune and live your own tune. I remember the moment that you texted me. I remember seeing the message, and I remember where I was when you texted me, when you'd figured out how to make your annual salary monthly. I mean, I think it was about 3 months in actually that you'd actually figured it out, how to do it. And you sent me that moment, and I was just like, wow, boom, right, there you are.
Well, again, literally, Sheena, all this stuff is about, Bob, his material. And the more times you listen to it, then all of a sudden you're going, really? And then you get out your own calculator and you make a few calculations and you go, oh my God, it is that simple. Literally, I said, well, look, if I need to make my salary monthly, holy cow, that's a lot of money. But then I was starting to think, well, hold on a second. All I need is 12 jobs, 12 little businesses that bring me in that reasonable salary. I mean, which is nothing. It is absolutely nothing on the grand scheme of things. But if you're thinking, oh my God, I've got to buy something like IBM to give me my $1 million a year, it's like, well, who are you kidding? Not saying it's not possible, but it's not probable. Think more logical and break it down into some literally nuts and bolts and put them together. Then you go, well, I got 12 nuts and bolts and they all fit together. And now I've got my annual my annual salary monthly. And I mean, it was easy.
And you just said to me before we go on here, like you haven't been so well. Sometimes your thoughts have been hiding inside you, and then it comes out as illness. So people want to laugh at that. It's like that's fine, but your thoughts become things, and if you're pointing them inwards, it tends to destroy your body on some level. And I've experienced it, and I know that a couple of my clients have experienced just that illness that comes up, almost like the alchemy. The purification, turning lead into gold. But it's just like, all that stuff is just like, hang on, and what things are clear in here. And then you said to me, yeah, well, I've just made my profit for today, just in that 5 minutes there. I'm done. And I was just like,
I lied because it was actually 1.5. And I'm being serious. Stock market opened. I had to wait a minute. I bought in, and I'm done.
Just love it.
I'm done for that income stream. Already done. There's
what would you say?
Salary broken down just daily. So that's one stream right there. It's already sorted.
So when we talk, so tomorrow we're going to be talking about goals, and one of the things is going from fantasy to theory to fact. Can you help people through that journey before even I start tomorrow?
You know, I'm going to say it's more simple than what anyone could ever imagine or believe. But literally, whatever it is you want to do, just literally put on that new set of clothes. So I don't know why I'm thinking of a basketball player, but let's say you want to become a basketball player and you want to be the best at it. Then literally put on your jersey and your sneakers and whatever else and get on the court. And once you're on the court, you're going to go, wow, I really like this. And, you know, it may not be for real, but you're going to hear the crowd. You're going to have other, you know, players around you, and you're going to feel it. And I'm not being funny, but that's exactly what I did. But I didn't even know it, Sheena, because we hadn't had that discussion. I got on an airplane, and then I had to bounce, and it took me forever to get to the second country where I had to go to. And I was already wearing the new suit, and just literally everything fell into place. My money was not even accepted in that country, in either country. I was driven around, literally I was being chauffeured in 2 different countries. I couldn't pay for the hotel. I couldn't pay for taxis, nothing. And they could not give enough to me because I'm going to say they loved me, but because they really wanted me, but they valued me. But I never knew it. Put on the suit, put on the jersey, get out there, do it. Just pretend. I'm going to say pretend, but be the character.
I'd like to clarify that, for people watching. It's just that, you know, when you go into alignment with yourself and sing your own tune, then other people will sing along with you, and they will start to come out of the woodwork, and they start to help you, and you end up with, you know, banging into people, having coffees with people who end up being your business partners that you would never have even thought of meeting. But it's like you said there, putting on the suit, and we talk about that actually on Wednesday. So that's what we'll be talking about, you know, going it one step further there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it just feels good, and it feels right. So after you've done that, and then you come off the court or you come off your airplane, do sit back and reflect on that and go, oh, but that's exactly what I wanted, and that's exactly what they think, and let's go down the middle then and just be what I just said I was going to be, to myself and to the world, and stand up tall and just let it flow, ease and flow, and it just works. But you've got to sort of shake off the barriers of, well, I can't do that. My God, that's ridiculous. No, you don't know what you can do, and you don't know what you can't do. So just go out there and have fun.
What do you think was the one thing that was holding you back? If you could literally, I mean, I could list a whole load of things for myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can think of one major thing that was a block for you that you just couldn't see past.
It's the morass. It's because you're in that comfort zone of you've got a job, and you've got to keep the job because you've got to keep the steady income coming. Well, yes and no. I mean, obviously, if you don't have a job, you're going to have to work harder and faster and quicker and figure things out. You can plan some things so that you're not starving and that you don't put your family at risk. But, you know, literally, you know, when someone else is telling you what to do every day, day in and day out, it's difficult to start thinking on your own. And when you're desperate enough, then you'll throw the shackles off and you'll say, I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to own this.
I think for you, what I'd noticed was it was almost making you ill. You know, just that
It was.
You know, the job, the job itself was actually making you ill. And I've seen some comments from people who have actually said that, you know, that I'm going, here I come again Sunday night looking at this week, and I don't want to do this week. You know, what would you say to that person?
Sheena, I laughed at that because I saw the posting, but I actually had that conversation in text last night with someone, and she was returning to the old company that I was at. And she goes, it's probably different for you, Brian. And I said, yeah. I said, I can't wait for Monday. I need Monday to come now because the stock market has to open, and I need to talk to people, and I need to get things going because I'm excited and I'm happy and I'm pumped. But you know what? How many months ago? It wasn't that long ago. Just last year was Monday. I mean, these weekends were shorter than anything. And the weekends are still short because you know what? There's still 48 hours and that's it. But holy cow, Monday comes around and it's like, move, I've got to get out of here. I've got to get going and get busy and do the things that I love. And
so tell people what you do love to do, actually, so that you can share your services. But one of the things that I must do, because when you talk about the stock market and everything, I want people to remember that Brian's mindset has completely changed in the last year, that he can go in and we talked this today about thoughts, feelings, and actions. People tend to do, oh, here's a thought, let me take the action. And they forget about aligning everything before they take that, so they can hear the quiet voice within that guides you on that journey to do the stock market.
Yeah, I buy companies, but I also trade stocks on the market. Well, I trade the options, I trade the futures. It's all the same thing, but you just have to appreciate what might it be doing, and you have to manage your emotions. So you make it mechanical. 95% is mechanical. And the 5% emotions, hopefully you can keep that at bay. So, literally, obviously I day trade because I was in the market for about a minute and a half today. And that was it. That was my target, and I was done, and I was out. And had I waited, I can see it went up a little bit higher. But that's taken 30 minutes to double what I had done in the first minute and a half. Well, I don't want to waste that much time. I'm in and out now. I can get on and do my other things. So what I do for people is basically educate them, coach them, and show them how to create their own strategy so that they can then come to the stock market and type in and say, okay, buy now. And then sell, and not necessarily intraday. Sometimes it takes weeks and months, but there's a strategy for everyone. And I like that. And actually, you identified that with me when I did one of the tests for you, was that I was a little bit more visionary. And then when you had said it, I sort of agreed that, yeah, I understand that. And I appreciate that I look into the future and I can create things in my head. But I'd never done that for people who appreciated it. And now I have people coming to me and say, oh, my God, you've got to show me and you've got to teach me how I can do what I want to do with my personality, with their personalities. So
and that's what it is. That futuristic is that futuristic strength is like, that is such a leadership one and a visionary. But if you are stuck within a box of a company, that's why people can feel frustrated and thinking like, well, what's the point? But as soon as you get out of the box, now here's the key thing, you have to get out of the box and shut the door and throw away the key. And then you see the other doors opening. But people are half in and half out the doors, Brian, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's the problem. And it's like two rams butting heads. You're not going to progress, and you're not going to find the emotional balance. You're always going to be out of balance. So, again, you need to find that Zen moment where you can just sort of hold your hands, do a little, and it'll come together. And it literally comes together. And, I was just telling you 2 minutes ago before we joined the call, that something on the weekend, information came to me that I had been resisting to receive freely and graciously. And so finally I did it on Friday, and I had at least two, look at their $1 million ideas. And the first one's starting to pay off already this morning. And I'm just sitting there going, oh, right, okay. Sometimes we need to shut up and listen when we're ready, but we need to make ourselves available to hear information and take time each day to learn something new. We don't know it all.
And that's important, isn't it? Become the one of our lessons is talking about being the intelligent follower. So that's the only way you're going to be a good leader, is by being, first of all, an intelligent follower.
Yes. Isn't that the truth? Wow. Yeah. And so I followed this guy for an hour, and I didn't want to buy his program, but I got enough out of it that I can now apply it to my program, which is different than his, and it's going to suit my personality. I don't want to be his personality. I need to have my own personality. I am who I am, and that's it.
Oh, I can hear a song there, Brian. I am. I'll not do that for the lot of you then. So any closing words, for people who are listening and watching all this week about, any closing words about the possibility that you've experienced just from understanding your mindset better?
Okay, time for honesty. You want more honesty again, I know. Look, I'm 53 this year, and I could have just stuck it out for another 10 years in the job and collected a pension, whatever the heck that means. But I wasn't happy. So I would say make sure if you're on these calls and you're seeing this video, pick up the phone and talk to someone like myself or like Sheena and just say, look, what does it take to get across the barrier? Yeah, it's scary. But, all of a sudden, once you step across the barrier, you're going to say, it was just 2 more steps and I was there. I mean, it is nothing. And it is, and it is a promise, God, yes, it is easy, but you've got to be in the right mindset. And this is all about just a slight tweak on the mindset. Get off the news. The news isn't going to help you. This is going to help you. Talking to the right people. And I'd say we're the right people.
Super. Well, because there's evidence there. We're all literally in a brilliant community together, aren't we? There's literally Bob has helped thousands, tens of thousands of people, and we're all just following that word. Not because we follow exactly what Bob says, but because we follow our own truth. And that's what we're being taught, is to follow our own truth. Only Brian, isn't it the time, isn't it, whenever we're talking about answering questions, and if he asks me too many questions, I just go on, you've got the answer, Brian. You have the answer.
And you know what, Sheena, and it is exactly like what you told us. You told me, and I know you've told other people as well. I don't need your agreement or your blessing or your approval for me to go off and do anything that I want to do. You have no clue about what I'm even talking about, let alone what I'm suggesting. So, in all honesty, why would I come to you and ask for your blessing? My mother isn't going to know either, and she's not going to be able to help me. It's only from within us that we say, well, look, this is my passion. This is what I love. Let's do it. Then do it.
I love that.
Collaborate and go.
This is my passion. This is what I love, and just do it. Just go do it. I like it. There you go.
Yes, exactly. It's the old Nike. Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. Listen, thank you so much for being on. And I know that you're here all week. So Brian's been reaching out to some of you as a success advisor, and he can talk you through. So you want some evidence, just go talk to Brian. Don't believe me. In fact, don't even believe Brian either. Don't even believe Bob, and don't believe yourself. But you find your own truth. Something is resonating, which is why you're watching. There you go.
If I was to say anything else, actually, just on that note, because you made a funny comment there. And when I handed in my resignation to the general counsel, and she's looking across the table and she's like, well, I'm only a year younger than you, Brian, and I can't retire, so there's no way that you can retire. Well, okay. Now it's a mission. So I spend a couple of hours a day doing exactly what I want, and I'm happy, and job done. So find out how, everybody. I mean, literally, it's easier than you think.
Good. That's super. Thank you so much for your time. Absolutely appreciate it. And I know that you're flying high this year. It's going to be incredible. Can't wait.
And that's with COVID. Still happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I'll see you. Thanks a lot, Brian.
Bye. Bye, Sheena. Bye, everybody.